a very top-rated topic that all of you had. Um, and just wanted to let you know a little bit about, kind of my background and the context of why we are here. I've spent about 20 years doing product management in technology and mostly marketplaces, commerce, and retail companies. And I've really seen it all. Great launches, epic failures. And in this time of AI and generative AI, paradoxically, we feel it's the greatest time in product management with all of these great tools, but it's also the time where the connection, the learning, the one-on-one interactions are more required than ever. Don't you think so? So with that, kind of said, we're happy to welcome you to this Product Leader Speaker Series. This is organized by the Product Leaders Summit. It's a gathering of product leaders that happens once a year in fall. It's organized by Ha Win, who we all know and love. And if you want any more information about the Product Leaders Summit, please go to the website and apply. I'm excited to be part of that this fall, and I hope to see a few of you there. And without any further ado, I want to tell you a little bit more about the Product Leader Virtual Speaker Series and what our mission is. Our mission is simple. We know that you have a voice as a product leader, and we want to provide a platform to foster the next generation of product leader speakers, and for more and more people to hear your voice. We also have heard that we need more small group interactions. We need more one-on-one connections. And so as part of this format, we will also not only have the opportunity to ask questions of Diana directly, but also after that, we'll have small breakout sessions where we can interact and connect more intimately. So that's our simple mission. So what do we have for you today? Today, after the introductions, Diana will be walking us through one of the, again, most requested career topics on how do you really imagine your career performance and growth by unlocking certain levers, which she has seen in her kind of career across the board. We'll follow that with Q&A and NPS feedback. We take NPS feedback very seriously, so please do through the course of this and or immediately after, please take a moment to offer feedback so we can continue to provide programming that is useful for you. And then we will have some breakout sessions. And as I mentioned, the goal is for us to be able to end early so you can take a breath before your next engagement. With that, I'm so excited to welcome Diana. Diana has a long history of storied product management career in companies like Salesforce, Chan Zuckerberg Institute, and I think what is really interesting about her career is the kind of choices that she has made, the bravery that she has shown to be able to take her career in different directions. And that's something that I'm really interested, maybe offline, Diana, I'd love to talk to you about, some of the decisions that you've done. You've obviously had a history of building teams. You've worked in big companies like Salesforce. You worked in smaller companies like the Chan Zuckerberg Institute, for instance. So she brings a wealth of big and small company experience to the table. And now she's the co-founder of Product Gold, which is a product coaching and advisory firm. So she's also working with various product leaders like us. So believe me when I tell you, she has also seen it all in terms of various careers, growth paths, and is the best positioned to help educate all of us on, what does it take to unlock our careers to the next level. Without any further ado, Diana, over to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction. And I'll get my screen up and share with you all, and we'll begin. So yeah, per the introduction, I am Diana Stepner, and I'm going to talk about what I've observed throughout my career in regards to thinking about your performance and growth. I know there'll be a whole mix of different types of people in this conversation, and so I will, reference things that may apply more to leaders or to individual contributors, but you can take everything at a very high level to be applicable to both. So just a bit more about me. As introduced, I've been in product for over 20 years. My background actually is in user experience research. And so I was really fascinated by the way that individuals worked with technology. I grew up in Cupertino, so technology is in my blood. It's what I know, but I wanted to understand better how humans interacted with technology. And so I have experience from the user experience research side. I also have an MBA, which gave me amazing insight into the business. And then technology, as I said, is what I know, what I love, and what I've been working in throughout my career. I have started my own company with a friend. We're doing product coaching and consulting. So that is how I'm bringing together and looking at the next steps in my journey. But I'd love for all of you to introduce yourselves. So going to take a couple seconds in the chat. If you can share your location, a fun fact about yourself, something that, others may not have known or guessed, and then also share your LinkedIn. So if folks can take a sec, just add in this information to the chat. It's a really great way for all of us to stay connected after the session is over. So please add your details. Cool. Excellent. Love to learn about you guys. Yeah, and great point from Suva. If you guys have not turned on your video, please do so. It's always wonderful to see your lovely faces. Excellent. We got individuals from India, from Santa Clara, whole global crew. Wonderful. So yeah, please continue to introduce yourselves and share your LinkedIn so you can stay in touch. And I always love including the fun fact because it's nice to give some surprise and some delight and just to learn more about each other because I know we're all hanging out in different, but most likely overlapping product channels. Wonderful. Cool. So I'm going to keep us going. And there are 3 different things we're going to cover today, all related to that top topic of career development and performance. So first, we're going to look about what it means to have a culture that's focused on credit, and then the opportunities to have a focus on collaboration. There's a lot of questions always coming up about, well, how do I think and hire for individuals who have that career growth mindset? So we're going to talk about that. And then also just thinking about, navigating your career path. It's an interesting time right now. And so the ways that we typically look at advancing our careers may no longer be relevant, but there are different opportunities that we can continue to develop our skills. So we're going to cover those too. In the chat, like to keep you guys interacting. Please think about this question and put in your answer. So how hot is your career satisfaction right now? And I'm a really big fan of food that tends to be spicy. I know some folks may like it a little bit more chill, but if you can choose your favorite pepper place to be able to identify your career, that'd be great. So again, take some time to put the answer into your chat. Choose the type of pepper that reflects how you feel about your career at this point in time. Do you feel that it's really mild? So maybe you're somewhere around a serrano pepper. Or do you feel that it's really ramping up and you're excited about your career? You may be up at the top with a Trinidad scorpion. So choose your favorite spice that reflects where you are feeling with your career right now. Cool. And if the words are a little bit funky, you can choose colors too. Start with the green, move up to the yellow, orange, and then wrapping up with a red. So again, choose your favorite and the one specifically that reflects how you feel right now. Got a lot of serrano peppers. Very good. Excellent. And thank you for continuing to introduce yourself. It's a great way to stay connected. And yeah, just choose your favorite pepper, specifically the one that aligns to your career satisfaction right now. Excellent. Keep it going. And gonna start diving in, building on, we've got a lot of serrano peppers. So folks are feeling okay, but there's a lot of opportunity for improvement. And so that's what we're hopefully gonna learn is some takeaways today that could definitely ramp up the spiciness, the hotness of your career. So when we think about career and the performance that we have that helps to inform where we go next, there's typically 2 different types of cultures that we encounter. One is very focused on credit. Who stands up and speaks the loudest? Who claims the responsibility for an engagement? That tends to be on the credit side. On the collaboration side, we have the realization that all work we do involves more people than just ourselves. And so we think about the approach to the performance cycle being from a collaborative mindset. And so when you think about your career, consider what you've encountered. Have you been in more credit cultures or have you been in more collaborative cultures? Because that learning can inform how you develop and structure your own course in regards to your career, as well as your team and your leadership style. So, to get into more specifics, if you found yourself in a culture that is about competition, encourages competition, that loudest voice wins, it's all about my idea, my actions, my words, that's pretty much focusing on me. And that's the way that the performance is evaluated. How much space did you take up? How great were your ideas? That's the type of culture that focuses on competition. And there are benefits to that. It allows people to get ahead, but there's also detriments too. And as you can see, based on the references to all the my's, it tends to exclude the fact that what we do as product folks is extremely collaborative. So if you're a leader and you find yourself in a competitive culture that rewards people based on their competition skills, I recommend doing a pivot and changing to a culture of collaboration. That's what product is about. We're always collaborating with stakeholders. We're always seeking additional input and ideas from those around us, as well as our customers too. And the realization is that we never do things on our own. We've got our triads of designers and engineers. We've got data science, product marketing, marketing managers, sales, all those different individuals we work with. And more companies are realizing that if you enable people to have a performance that's rated based on their collaborative skills, the entire team and consequently the entire company does better. And so when you think about what you're going to rate in regards to performance, you look at the actions as a whole across a team. It's our ideas, our goals, our celebrations, everything we did together in a group. And I really think there's a lot of benefits to that. You can break down the silos so individuals work collaboratively together. You've got designers stepping in and helping product folks. You got product folks doing some coding to help engineers. You've got really talented people cross-pollinating their insight and bringing the whole team to a better place. And so I really do recommend celebrating those cross-disciplinary contributions. And I know we've probably been at companies where folks have said, stay in your lane, but I really recommend coloring outside the lines and bringing those cross-disciplinary contributions to the forefront. The other piece that's really valuable is when you do that, you step outside of that mindset of protectionism. You've got certain companies and cultures and individuals who, again, are very much about this is what I do, this is my area. And they get kind of prickly when folks step into it. But I really believe by bringing that talent together, you can prioritize what's best for the customer, and that overshadows that credit hoarding culture. So again, if you got that opportunity to pivot your culture, if you got that opportunity to think about what company you're going to go to next, or the one that you're going to start, or the team that you're going to lead, I really do recommend keeping these benefits in mind and trying for a collaborative culture. A great example of a collaborative culture is Netflix, especially that last bit, where it just highlights how amazing people become even better, more creative, more productive, more successful than when they work together as a team. And so I really do believe there's a lot of benefits that a company, individuals, different parts of the business can achieve when they focus on collaboration and put that competitive culture to the side. So how do you do that shift? Here's my steps that I recommend. It's a quick framework. You want to value the diverse contributions of the team. And what that means is that you've got different types of individuals that you're working with. You got some folks that are quieter, some folks that are louder, some folks that work in the morning and are really thriving that morning time. You got some folks that are more in the afternoon. You've got different positions of seniority. When you bring all of that brilliance together, you get much more informed and diverse contributions, which leads to more innovation. So start there. Think about all the individuals that you work with and bring their superpowers to light. And when you do so, invite people to share, invite people to contribute, share your research, share your prototypes, allow that feedback to come through, because that will really enable the whole group to shine and not just specific individuals who are trying to steal that spotlight. And as a leader, when you think about the best way to encourage that diverse contributions, that knowledge sharing, do it through active listening. And that means you do step back. That do means you ask questions of the folks that you're working with. You want to lead with curiosity and be able to elevate those voices around you. And that all comes together to put your people first. And I say people, not person. You're putting your higher team together and allowing every individual to shine. And when you do that, that also gives you great insight to the people as people. And so you know when they're getting burnt out, when they need a break. And that really gives you an extra superpower to be able to balance life and work and all the different side projects that we have in between. Next section. So folks may be interviewing, you may be hiring. And these are some really great points to keep in mind when you think about the type of individual that you want to bring onto your team or the type of team that you want to join. And it does build on the prior points about the type of culture that you want to seek out as well as create. So I like quotes, and I really am a fan of basketball, given I live in San Francisco, right near the basketball, as well as the baseball stadium. But I love this quote because it really highlights that the power of the team is what wins. And I mean that in a way that everybody contributes. And yes, you want to have that intelligence, you want to have that commitment, but when the team works together as a true team, not just a bunch of siloed individuals, you have a higher likelihood of exceeding all expectations that you had. So when you're thinking about a new role or you're interviewing candidates, I really recommend these two areas. You want to listen for human and functional skills. And oftentimes those soft skills, those human skills get pushed to the wayside. But I really recommend keeping them center because it's hard to help someone overcome characteristics that are basically a jerk. And you may have heard that before in other situations, but you have those individuals who are brilliant, but just not very much fun to work with. And you can pick that up when you're interviewing. You can also pick that up when you're hiring. And so keep in mind, listen for those human skills. In no way, shape, or form am I downplaying those technical what competencies, what do we do, what have you done? But I truly believe on equal levels, you also need to consider the how. How did they work with others? How do they think about collaboration? How do they work in a team? Because that's really going to help you, your business, and all the individuals that you touch be able to succeed more collectively and raise the bar for everyone. The other piece that's related to that is you want to think what motivates the individuals. As you can see from the prior section, there are lots of folks that are motivated just by their own self-interest. But I really do recommend seeking out companies as well as interviewing for individuals who are going to contribute to the team. And they're going to put the team first. They know the value that they bring, but they also appreciate how much contributions they can give to the entire organization, the folks that they work with on a day-to-day basis. And again, that elevates everyone involved. And so in the chat, I want to ask you guys a question. And so if you can share, what are your thoughts? How do you tell? How do you determine if there's a good workplace fit? So if you're hiring for someone or if you're interviewing for folks, what do you keep in mind? What's the thing that you think is really important to determine if there's going to be a good workplace fit? Again, for yourself, for the folks that you're interviewing, just share that in the chat. And just again, from your experience, share what's really worked for you. What have you used as a clue to be able to suss out how things are going to work out in that environment? Whether, again, it's individuals that you're bringing on board or folks that you're interviewing with to see if it's going to be your next adventure. Excellent. Cool. Confidence without attitude. Love it. Feel safe. Yeah, perfect. When I'm interviewing, I pay attention to whether. Yep. I really love that rule. Perfect. Yeah, you guys have so much, so much value to share. Thank you. Perfect. I'm going to give you guys a preview into the questions that I consider. So I always love asking questions about, what makes a product delivery successful? And that works really well, again, when you're interviewing or when you're speaking to a potential person who's going to join your company. Let them talk about, what makes something successful. It could be a product that they delivered. It might be a feature that they built, depending on where they're coming from or the role that you're seeking to fill. But it's always very interesting to learn about a person's definition of success. The other piece around it is, how are decisions made? And you want to know, are they top down? Are you being directed and told what to do? You want to know if it's a collaborative effort. You want to know if it's going to be focused on outcomes versus outputs. You want to know if the teams are going to be empowered. And so it's really interesting to ask that question to learn more about an organization, but also it's very fascinating to ask people how they prefer decisions to be made, because that again gives great insight into them. Conflicts resolved. Oftentimes you see people roll their eyes when you have that question, and that gives you a good indication about the company. Maybe some things you need to be aware of. And when you're interviewing, you really want to keep that top of mind too, because you want to make sure that it's a collaborative effort, that everyone has a voice. And as we said in the chat, it's a voice in a place where you feel safe to speak up. And then that last one, what makes teams effective? And that's really valuable, again, on both sides, when you're interviewing or when you're thinking about a person you're going to bring onto your team. You want to know if they're going to be someone that's going to try to steal all the spotlights, or if you're going to be focused more on that collaboration. Next part, navigate your path to career advancement. And I know this is going to be very interesting to folks because there's a lot of change happening right now. And folks are wondering, why am I not getting promoted? Why am I not getting that recognition that I deserve? Why was I let go? And it could be something about you, to be perfectly blunt. You may be one of those folks who everything is about me. And again, you can tell from my themes that, yes, there are times to put yourself in center stage, but when that's a song that's on repeat, it can get kind of frustrating over time. In a similar manner, there's folks that I've led who just thought, okay, I've done the career ladder, just checked all the boxes, I'm ready for promotion. But they forgot that there are aspects about their attitude that also need to be factored in. They forgot that there's different facets that go beyond just checking a box. You need to think about how they actually put forward their skills and their efforts and their wins. Goes back to some of the points that we discussed earlier. It's the how, the empathy, the listening, that collaboration that also is very important, equally important, in some cases, I hope more important than those technical skills that we can often train into an individual. If they've got an attitude that, despite coaching, they're not willing to change, that could be one of the reasons that they're not getting promoted. Same goes for leaders. You've got leaders who believe it's all about who's right. And that, again, lines, unfortunately, with that credit culture. That person who had that idea, regardless of how they got to that idea or who helped them to bring that idea to light or launch that product. You have those leaders. And I wish that when we're interviewing, we try to determine if we want to be with those leaders. Because I believe that there are other types of leaders. And those are the leaders that I recommend seeking out. Those who care about what's right for the customer, what's right for the business, what's right for their team. And those are the folks you definitely want to find. And so when you think about, the culture that you're in, where you want to get with your career path, keep these points in mind. What have you achieved? Have you just checked the boxes, or have you gone above and beyond? Have you helped others achieve as well? The middle one is, product lore, When you want to get promoted, it's not just enough to go through and say, I've done all the things in my current level. You need to show next level skills as well. And often folks forget that, or they do them in kind of a haphazard manner. But you've got to show that you're ready for that next level before you're promoted. The last one is an interesting one. Why are you seeking a promotion now? I've had individuals who wanted a promotion because I've been here 2 years. I've seen people ask, I want a promotion because my counterpart who came in at the same time as me just got promoted. You really got to think about your reasons why. And that could be one of the reasons that you're not getting promoted. If you think it's just, yeah, it's my time, but you haven't contributed, you haven't shown empathy, that could be one of the reasons that you're not getting promoted. And so how do you provide those opportunities for advancement? If you're a leader, think about the way that your team approaches you. You want to encourage that safe space. That was shared in the chat. You want to invite people to try things out. Product is about experimentation. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. The key point is to learn from them. And so encourage your team to try things out, to push the limits, to see what they can learn and share with others so that that insight could benefit the entire organization. The other thing I also think is very important from a leadership perspective is, why are people seeking your ideas? And it could be because the culture doesn't encourage folks to be able to pursue their own ideas. It could be that the leaders have to be the ones who put down the ideas. It also could be that you're one of those folks who just wants to get into the nitty-gritty, and that's amazing. But you also need to ensure that your team is empowered to make decisions on their own. It could be that they're just coming to you because they feel they need your stamp of approval before they proceed. And if that's the case, you're holding up innovation and opportunities for people to grow. The other piece around it is extremely important as well, given the stat. 40% of the folks that are in your team are likely going to be introverts. And that means they're not going to grab center stage. That means they may not speak up in a group forum, but that does not mean that they don't have ideas to contribute. They do, but they may need a different way to bring them to light. And you need to consider that as well, because advancement shouldn't be just about who's the loudest person in the room. It should be about the contributions, the collaborations, the consideration. And so when you think about the people that you lead, ensure you're giving opportunities for all types of people to be heard. And there are different ways to allow people to be heard. In today's world where companies are scaling back and trying to do more with less, there are two different models that you could apply for career growth that are different from that traditional career ladder. The two that I've outlined here are the ones that you'll see or hear about most frequently. That lattice means that you're going to be traversing. You may not be going up, you may be going sideways, you may be going diagonal. And that allows you to build out more skill sets. That allows you to apply more of your learning to a broader swath of the company. And that also allows you to step in and help out in other areas that may not have been in your direct career ladder. And so I definitely recommend, when you're thinking about a promotion, when you're thinking about an opportunity to encourage a member of your team to do more, to be more, look at areas that aren't necessarily hierarchical. Think about ways that they can go diagonally or to the side to be able to round out their career, develop more skills, and contribute more to the business as well as to their own progression. Portfolios. That's another area that we see a lot now too. Our folks have side hustles. They think about other adjacent things, opportunities, companies that they could create to be able to expand their skill set. And so when I talk to people that I've worked with about how they could round themselves out, I often recommend joining meetups, giving talks, thinking about other ways that they could share and contribute beyond just those opportunities that are given within the company. And that allows you to build out that portfolio mindset and stretch your wings to be able to explore new areas that could open additional opportunities for you, both now and in the future. So as we come to the close, I just want to say thank you very much and just summarize what we've talked about. When you shift from that credit culture to a collaborative culture, you're creating an environment where all individuals can advance. Because again, it's acknowledging that in our world of product, you never do anything alone. You're always collaborating with others. And so it distributes that credit just as it should be. And then you can apply that insight to when you're hiring or interviewing. You want to ensure that you're identifying individuals and organizations that encourage career growth. And they're thinking about it in a way that isn't just about that technical, that functional expertise, but they're also thinking about the ways that they come across as a person. Are they empathetic? Do they listen? Do they encourage others? You want individuals who are going to be able to raise up the bar for all parts of the organization, not just for themselves. And then again, in the environment we're in today, it's really valuable to think of other ways to advance beyond just that career ladder. It may be that you're looking at a portfolio approach. It may be that you're looking at that lattice and seeing other opportunities that are adjacent to where you are today. And it also could be, when you think about it from an individual perspective, maybe there are aspects that you need to change about your approach to career performance that could help you unlock that next level. So just wanted to say thank you very much. When you're investigating what's next for your career, everything we've covered today is going to be a valuable reference for you. And I know you've got this. You have the opportunity to really change how we think about product management, how we think about product leadership, and the way that we advance our careers. So if you want to stay connected with me, just snap this QR code. It'll take you to my LinkedIn and we can stay connected. I'd really love to be able to learn from you about how you apply the insight that you've gained today and benefit from your feedback. We also